Okay, so you're a tenant living in a rental property. Agent wants to inspect. It's a bit of a pain in the bum. Landlords love it. Tenants don't. Let's talk about it and what's regular, acceptable, not acceptable with routine inspections. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you?
Well, I always do a little bit of a dance and a sing when I hear the intro at the end. Okay, let's get
I know,
pumped.
I was doing that. I was doing that as you know what, because when you play it on my end, you can do mute or unmute, and it starts off muted. I always unmute it and have a bit of a boogie.
Yeah, because I saw your hands waving a little bit.
So, Sienna, we're going to educate people today on inspections, and there's various different names for it. Fair trading calls it, I think you said routine inspections.
Yeah.
Tell us some more.
Yeah, so I'm a leasing consultant, so I don't do routine inspections. My other co-workers do. So I'm going to be kind of asking you questions, Mark, kind of educating myself as well on routine inspections. I've done a little bit of research. I read up on about it, but I also have like a few other questions, a little bit in an insight on what routine inspections are kind of all about.
Got it. And I think there's with living in a rental property or owning an investment property, we're going to teach you the do's and don'ts and the acceptable, not acceptables, and the benefits and features of this. So stay tuned. In 5 minutes, we'll blast through all this information for you, and you can download it. So first question.
Yeah, so I guess what is a routine inspection, Mark?
Okay, so a routine inspection is obviously a periodic inspection that you're doing on a property. Now, it can be done for a lot of different reasons. People think it's always a condition inspection as to see the condition of the property and how the tenants are keeping it, but not necessary. So routine inspections, you can go to the investment property as an agent or as a landlord 4 times a year. That's acceptable. That's reasonable according to fair trading. But you don't want to use all of those inspections up all the time. You sort of probably want to have 1 or 2 up your sleeve.
Yeah. So within a 12-month period, how many routine inspections can we do as an agent?
4.
4. And within those 4, do we separate it within 3 months, 2 months, what is the best way as a property manager to ensure the security for the landlord and to make the tenant comfortable, and they are noticed that they know that they have a routine inspection coming up?
Yep. So at Novak, we with the properties, all the properties that we manage, what we do is on the initial. So when we take a new tenant on board to a landlord's property, we will go and inspect it within 3 months. That gives them time to settle in, get it all nice, have a look. And then also as a landlord, you do want to check up. You don't want to leave it till 6 months. You sort of want to see how they're going. So we'll do one within 3 months of the initial tenant moving in. After that anniversary, and then what we actually do is we'll ask the tenants if we can do a short video. We upload that to YouTube. We make it a private link on YouTube, and we supply that to the landlord saying, hey, tenant's going well. Here's a video of your place. Landlords gobble it up, bloody love it.
Yeah.
Then we'll be there in 6 months after that. And then from that point onwards, every 6 months we'll be at the property. To go there every 3 months for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, it's overkill.
Yeah. Since the topic is today, property condition inspections, necessary or nuisance, I kind of wanted to bounce off how much notice do you have to give the tenant, because they do need to have enjoyment of the property when they do move in.
Yep. A week is the answer, and that's generally reasonable. And then sometimes tenants want to move that around, so they want to do it when they're home. Sometimes they don't care. They say just
Technical difficulties. Can
technical
you just help
difficulties.
us?
Yep.
There you are.
Sorry, I didn't put my phone on silent. So, yeah. Oops.
It happens to all of us.
Where were we?
I think we got cut off. We were talking about how much notice we should give tenants before coming to the property and
Yep.
doing a routine
So 1
inspection.
week.
1 week. And is that the amount of time in regulations and legislation? Do you have to give a week? Can you give 48
Yep.
hours? Or is that just our
Nope.
policy in Novaks?
It's got to be a week, and anything less is deemed as unreasonable. And sometimes tenants want to make that change, so they'll say, "Look, can I make it the week after, or it just doesn't work, or we've got COVID." It's been a popular one. So yeah.
Yeah, well, since you've obviously been in real estate for a long time, Mark, do you have any suggestions to tenants when routine inspections are arranged? Because a lot of tenants, they don't realize they've obviously damaged something, accidentally knocked a chip off the counter. What is the biggest things property officers look for when they go to routine inspections? And what suggestions can you give to the tenants to look out for before they do come to those routine inspections?
Look, tidy is not a big one, but clean is a big one. So because it actually starts compounding. So we get that sometimes that you may not have made the bed, or it may not be immaculate. No problems. But it's when there's stuff marked, scuffed walls, damage to the property itself. That's when the alarm bells start going off. And I think a good agent doing these routine inspections, it actually allows you to control the property so it doesn't get out of hand. When you start seeing that happen early, you sort of pull it into line. And also, I think it's a nice message from the landlord to the tenant to say, look, I really want you to keep it to the standard you're provided in the property in. So, sometimes the tenant can think it's okay to go around with scuffed walls, or have damaged the property and not fix it. Whereas for an agent to say, no, look, you have cracked that glass on the front door, that does need to be fixed now.
Yeah.
And then it just shows that sort of you can show intolerance or tolerance based on routine inspections, and you can set that precedence for the property. So it's really, really important that these inspections are done. And you want to be getting that as a landlord from your agent regularly, or I think it's a good sign of bad management overall if you're not getting these regularly.
Yeah. And as an agent, what are the main things that you look for when you're doing a routine inspection as a representative of the landlord?
For a house, obviously walking up to the property, garden maintenance, rubbish left around the outside of the property. That's always left around a property. It tends to always be a hassle, because when the tenant does move, it compounds over year 1, 2, and 3. And when they do move out, often if they don't leave properly, that's the first stuff that gets left behind. Rubbish under a house is one I was talking with a landlord the other day, where tenants will chuck stuff under the house more and more and more and more. And then when they go to move out, there's a lot of stuff there. Marked scuffed or marked doors on entry, globes or lights not working, fire. We generally, it's not our job to test the fire equipment. We have contractors that do that, but we always do a checkup anyway behind that, just to make sure there is one there. You get a really good gut, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist as an agent walking through. Straight away within that first sort of 60 seconds, you'll go through and go, yeah, great tenant.
Yeah. It's almost like the 5 senses: see, taste, look, smell. If you walk into a property and it smells quite bad, you already get the worst vibe, and you already kind of overthink, okay, what's wrong with this property now?
Yeah, it's funny. It probably sounds a bit mean, but it's true. When a tenant's got a nice candle going, or it's, it smells fresh. It's always, it's a good, it's another sense that makes the place feel good.
Definitely.
Mm.
Now, I've just noticed a few people have hopped on, so I just wanted to backtrack. Currently, we're talking about property condition inspections, necessary or nuisance. We're going through kind of educating myself and tenants of what routine inspections are about and what suggestions we can give tenants to ensure that the condition of the property is going to be great when the property officer comes into your tenanted property.
Property. You know what, Sienna? It's a good opportunity for tenants to actually meet the agent and talk about any repairs or maintenance that need to be done as well.
Which leads
So,
me to my next question, Mark.
oh, does it? Yeah.
Yes. Now, should a tenant be present at a routine inspection? And how do you not be a nuisance if they are too busy? You know, because a
Yep.
lot of people have a lot of stuff going on. So,
Yep.
you know,
Zoom
being
conferences, all that stuff. Yep.
being
And
harassed by
look,
agents is not the first ideal.
yeah, and look, it does happen. Like, you don't have to be at the property. Go and walk the dog. Go and have a cup of coffee. It generally will take about 5 to 10 minutes to do the routine inspection, so it's not a long process. So I think if I was in a rental property, I would like to be speaking and meeting the agent. I think it's an important relationship. It's your home, it's your shelter, and I think getting that right is important. So, you know, the agent may have some questions in relation to something at the property, or you may have some questions. It's the perfect, you know, belly to belly is always better than over the phone or over an email. So I think yeah, don't escape it. Try to nurture it for sure.
Definitely.
It's a great question, by the way.
Well, thank you, Mark. I think we wrapped it all up. I've got no more questions left.
That's it. So
Yeah.
routine inspections,
It
great
me
for
out.
landlords. Yeah, it's all there. Great for landlords. Landlords love seeing their property. Landlords can go for 5 years without seeing their place, so they love getting the photos from the routine inspections and condition checkups. They love getting videos, which is what we do at Novak, by giving them that link. Tenants, it's always a little bit of a like a shit moment where it's like, do we really have to do this? But I think sometimes landlords even say, don't worry about it, just do it once a year. If a tenant's been in a property for upwards of 2, 3, 4 years and has proven to be absolutely awesome through that period, owners will often say, look, just relax the amount of routines that you're doing on the property. That's cool. But it's super important. It's got to be done. If your agent's not doing it, it's a telltale sign that everything's not going well with the managing of the property. Something I should mention is the last 2 years we were not able to do routine inspections for the majority of that period. So through 2020 and through 2021, there were periods where we were not accessing the properties. So you will find you may want to hop onto your agent now if you're a landlord and say, on your bike and get out there, because they're behind on the routine inspections.
And was that due to COVID-19 or COVID?
Yeah. A lot of people had COVID. A lot of it was very common that they didn't want to be exposed to it either. Where they didn't want someone in their home that they didn't know, like a real estate agent. And generally, the industry and fair trading sort of took a frowning towards it. Just to leave it alone, sort of thing. So there's a big catch up in the last sort of 6 months, 9 months. That agents have had with routine inspections. But I think all landlords, you will realise there is a gap through 2020 and 21. Your agent may have only done one that entire period or two that entire period, rather than the regular 4 through a 2-year period.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of information at 7:45 in the morning. Done.
There you go. Routine inspection. Now, I do have to throw the gauntlet down. There's got to be a better name than a routine inspection, because the purpose of us going through is really a condition checkup. But we call it a routine inspection. But it's a little bit more than that. But anyway, we'll do some word changing later.
If you have
Some
any
wordsmithing.
suggestions, comment, guys. We would love to hear it.
Let us know. And good morning to Jim. All right. Thanks, heaps. Sienna. Have a great day.
Thank you. I'll see you soon, Mark.
See you, everyone. Take care. Bye.